Hey guys, so per the title, I'm doing the Booktube Newbie Tag today. My name is Derek London. My channel is called the Derek London Podcast because, I'm not just interested in talking about the trends and culture of Booktube, which is friggin' awesome in itself, but I want to talk about the ideas inside those great books too. So today, I wanted to introduce myself, give you a little background about me, answer some recommended questions for this newbie tag, but most importantly, I wanted to meet everyone down in the comments, so make sure you say hi, all right? And with that, let's get right into it. All right, peeps, so it's great meeting all of you. I guess there's nothing to do but ask the first question. Why did I start this channel? Well, aside from just really loving books, which is kind of a no-brainer, I never received a high level of education, so reading has been amazing for me in that way. Of course, I don't think it's a substitute for academics, but I do feel that books have connected me to a world that I never much felt a part of, I also started because my taste is quite broad, and the thing that unites all, or certainly most of my interests, like politics, philosophy, psychology, self-development, and so on, is that they originated in a book somehow. What are some fun and unique things you can bring to Booktube? In a nutshell, I think it's my interest in nonfiction and classic literature. While I certainly intend to do some, young adult, fantasy, and best-selling stuff, I believe the fact that I've not obtained a fancy degree in philosophy, psychology, political science, history, and literature demonstrates that anyone can really read this stuff if they have a passion for it. What are you most excited for about this new channel? The thing I'd say I'm most excited for is just to speak with like-minded people about some of these books. This community is so engaged, and there's so many great works out there that I want to explore, so to have some people to bounce that off of and also have fellow bibliophiles kind of guide my evolving TBR would be really nice. Why do I love reading so much? There was something that came to mind when I was thinking about this question, and maybe you've noticed this. As time goes on, I don't like how shallow and surface conversations and even perspectives are becoming. This is no more evident than what we see on social media, right? And there's nothing like a book that can give you a full analysis or a breakdown of a matter. Even if you're reading long-form journalism, there's still no way you can gain that level of detail that you can get from a book. Also, classic literature and great fiction can really teach us a lot about the world we live in. So I would say those are some of the main reasons I love reading. What book or series got me into reading? Let's tackle the series part of that question first. To be honest, and this is about to change, I haven't really read any series, except for the entire corpus of Sherlock Holmes. Until lately, my tastes have always inclined me towards nonfiction. Based on Sherlock, though, I guess what I love about series is that you never get so acquainted with particular characters and plots like a series can deliver. Just think about it. Most films don't take over 2 to 3 hours to watch. Most books, by contrast, will take you at least 2 to 3 hours and frequently up to tens of hours to read. And when you multiply that across several books in a series, you can never get that level of familiarity from a film or arguably any other form of media. So I do intend to get into some series as I grow in this channel. So speaking about series, I would say that Sherlock Holmes definitely contributed to my love of reading. But also, I started reading in a big way when I was leaving my religion. I was kind of born into a very fundamentalist religion. And when I started to challenge all that, a lot of the books I was reading sort of snapped me out of it. What questions would I ask my favorite booktubers? Okay, so I got a few of them. If you could be a specific author, and have all their unique talents and qualities, who would you be and why? Which world have you read about that you think you could live out the rest of your days in? Who's the most intelligent and perceptive author you've ever read? Who's the most humorous author you've ever read? Who's your favorite storyteller? Who crafts the best prose? Okay, so this is a good one. If money were no object, what would your library and reading area look like? Which books and authors intimidate you the most? I guess I'd also ask, if you had to pick from one genre to read for the rest of your life, which one would you choose? Which fellow booktuber grinds your gears the most? I have a few on my list. What challenges do I think starting a booktube channel will be the hardest to overcome? Well, aside from obvious things like just triggering the algorithm and growing an audience, which can be extremely difficult, I think it'll be tough to accomplish all my reading goals and devote enough time to posting the content that I am on YouTube. I also think it'll be tough to blend my interests with what most people are passionate about and discussing nowadays. I've always had unusual tastes, so I'll have to balance what most people find interesting and what I find fascinating. Having said that, being unique is never a bad thing either, but I think that's probably what I'll struggle with most. When did I start reading? I had a pretty unusual upbringing. I would say I've always read a fair amount, but as you know, I was raised in a very traditional and religious home, and so I was always up on a particular kind of reading, the reading our faith would distribute. But I never wandered outside of that because it was a very fundamentalist and dogmatic religion, as I mentioned. Reading outside of that was something of a taboo because it was like, why would you read that novel when you haven't read the most recent publications of the society? So when I woke up from that religion and left it at about the age of 25, 26, it was like the world opened up to me. I discovered a whole new passion for reading. I guess the short answer is I started reading widely at about 25. I'm 32 now, so it's been an adventurous 7 years. Where do I read? I'm very friggin' lucky. As you can see, I have a pretty awesome study here. So sometimes I'll just read in here. But this is not the most comfortable chair for long-term reading, so frequently I'll cozy up in my bed and just read the evening away in there. The building I live in, though, has some amazing communal places to chill and work. I'll show you where I often go. Alright guys, so this is the little library we have in our building. People will take and leave books here quite often, so there's good circulation of literature. This room is not used that often, so I love to come down here. It's very quiet. I can also recline on these couches as the chairs are not the most comfortable. Sometimes though, more so if I'm writing video scripts or blogs, I'll come up in here. And if I'm needing some distractions, I'll shoot some pool in here and sort of read between games. I don't do it often, but I do love how many options I have in this building. What kind of books do I like to read? Okay, so this is in a state of flux at the moment. As mentioned, my interests have always taken me to nonfiction, more specifically like philosophy, psychology, politics, self-help, history, and so on. I've read a few classics, but not a whole lot, so I intend to do a lot more of that. And I also want to experience what's trending and having the most cultural impact today. So going forward, I intend to do about a third classics, a third trending, and about a third nonfiction. I've also done a library and bookshelf tour if you guys want to see what I've read and what I intend to get into. For fiction, I love George Orwell, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. I really love The Arabian Nights. That's such a great classic. I'm finally getting around to some Ernest Hemingway, which is completely living up to the hype. I love reading legal thrillers and courtroom dramas, like John Grisham, Beverly McLaughlin. I love Dan Brown. As for nonfiction, I really enjoy reading around themes of religion and atheism. This is what takes me into philosophy, psychology, and politics, so I enjoy reading people like Thomas Nagel, Jonathan Haidt, Stanley Fish, and a slew of other authors I've read single works of. What does my book collection look like? So I guess I already answered this question, but I'll leave that bookshelf tour I was talking about in the end screen of this video so you can watch it after this. Before you go though, guys, I'm really curious to meet everyone. Make sure you help a brother out and subscribe to the channel. Chat with me in the comments. I read all of them. Tell me random stuff about what you're reading, what you're looking for in a Booktube channel, video requests, and so on. And I'll see you down there. Till the next one, guys. Thanks again for your support. I'm out. Peace. Hey everyone, I hope you liked this video. We put up some incredibly transformative content on this channel. If you want more like the one you just watched, click the suggested video on this screen. Make sure you subscribe, and to connect with me on my other platforms, my handles are linked below in the description, alright? Take care, peeps. Till next time.